The ski resort of Grächen in Canton Valais has 40 kilometres of slopes with 10 ski lifts. That's small compared to the nearby resort of Zermatt, which has over 300 kilometres of slopes and 6 times as many lifts. Between the early 90s and the beginning of the 2000s, Grächen, like many other places of its size, was struggling to compete with destinations abroad. Maintaining its infrastructure was expensive, and the ski lifts needed upgrading. It was time for some significant changes. Olivier Andinmatten is the president of the board of Grächen's tourist office and runs the resort's oldest hotel, the Hannigalp, which was built by his great-grandfather over 100 years ago.
Und in den 70er, 80er Jahren, wo allgemein eigentlich der Tourismus sehr geboomt hat, hat das natürlich jetzt in Grächen auch geboomt.
During the 70s and 80s, there was a general boom in tourism, and Grächen did well. But people started resting on their laurels, and in the 90s didn't do enough to stay on top. The various business interests, the ski lifts, the tourist office, and mountain restaurants devised their own strategies, following their own interests. Finally, in 2007, an effort was made to bring all parties together with the goal of creating one company with one CEO.
Geschäftsleitung mit einem Geschäftsführer, sprich CEO, geführt wird.
By pooling resources, Grächen has significantly improved its marketing. Instead of campaigns run by individual businesses or associations, the newly founded Grächen AG does the marketing for the entire resort, which also saves a lot of money. As simple as the concept seems, it took some effort to convince locals of the new project. The CEO of the tourism company is Berno Stoffel, who came to Grächen during the restructuring phase in 2008.
At the start, I had to figure out how this village functioned. Who were the influential families and what were the political and economic structures here? I had to find these driving forces, which was important in order to give the destination a boost. Our strategy was simple. We wanted to be among the top 3 family destinations in Switzerland by 2013. Secretly, though, we were hoping to become number 1.
Once the strategy was in place, it was time to implement the changes. But what kind of investments should be made? What do tourists nowadays really want? Grächen hired students to observe visitors. How well do tourists manage to find their way around the village? What problems do they have when getting onto the cable car? These findings formed the basis of the planning and building of new infrastructure. Instead of keeping 2 main cable cars, Grächen decided to close one, but to do a major upgrade on the other.
A lot has changed. We have a lot more space at the counter and people have to spend less time queuing up to buy a ticket. Before, everyone, also people who already had a ticket, had to pass by here to get on the cable car.
Now skiers can easily get on the lift via a ramp outside the building. Another novelty is this locker room, where people can leave their skis during their stay instead of having to carry them backwards and forwards from their hotel. The lockers can be opened with a ski pass. Other changes are less visible to the tourists, but just as significant, such as this monitoring system, allowing cable car staff to mark cabins with children on board. This way, the crew at the other end knows when to be extra watchful. Thanks to these recent investments, the cable car has a turnover of 6.5 million Swiss francs, while the mountain restaurants have 3.5 million. Together, that's an increase of 1 million. The Hannighüsli restaurant recently opened a 2nd floor. During the high season, the place is packed.
Normally, mountain restaurants are self-service, but here we serve our customers. Of course, it takes more staff, but with good planning, it works fine. And guests feel more comfortable when they're being served. We don't offer any fries, but all sorts of Valais specialities, such as fondue, cheese toast, or meat with rösti.
Those looking for après-ski activities can join an evening torchlit walk. This German family has come to Grächen for the first time. They discovered the place on the internet.
In den letzten Jahren waren wir immer in Österreich oder auch schon mal so in Schwarzwald.
The past few years we went to Austria or Germany's Black Forest. It's our first time in Switzerland. It's a really nice place. We had a sunny day yesterday, which was fantastic. Now with the snow, we're hoping to do some skiing tomorrow.
Aus dem Skikurs und so haben wir alles noch gar nicht machen können jetzt.
And if this is too much work, guests can attend a local choir concert at the church. Grächen has won several prizes for its innovative approach. Yet there are still things that can be improved.
Wir haben 10% Hotelbett und 90% Bett in den Ferienwohnungen.
Grächen has a lot of holiday homes. Of all the beds available, only 10% are in hotels. This means there's enormous potential. Over the next 2 years, we'll evaluate the quality of these vacation homes and we'll market them and make them bookable online. The market for traditional alpine hotels is no longer growing. A family often prefers the freedom of an apartment, yet they still like to have services, such as having access to a swimming pool, a crèche, or restaurant meals that are included in the price. These alternative forms of accommodation are greatly in demand at the moment.
Beherbergungsformen, die im Moment sehr gefragt sind.